It goes like this. They ignore you, and then they see you, and when they see you, they're going to have an opinion. Okay, why does a dentist do a $80,000 veneers? Why does a real estate agent price a house at $5 million rather than $4.8 million? Because the supply is gone.
For example, when I want to start my podcast,
Yeah.
I knew what to do.
Yeah.
I went on ChatGPT a year ago. I was like, I knew it. But I ended up paying for a course.
I've never told some of these stories, by the way. You're bringing the best stories out of me. Alex Hormozi paid me $100,000. Him and his wife came in, spent 38 minutes. He's like, I'm good, because he got what he needed. This was 3 or 4 years ago. Went back, implemented on it. That $100,000's made him hundreds of millions of dollars. Depression is a made up fucking condition. It is made up, okay? You're not depressed, you're disappointed. I don't wait to write the book. I'd say, I'm writing a book. I'd like to sell it to you now, before the book is written. And I'm gonna go pre-sell the book. You can't see what you don't do. It's impossible, dude. People that don't trust other people is because you don't trust you. That's what you have to know about all this hate.
I've seen a lot of like people who literally have a dedicated YouTube channel to like a ripping on you. Or
Everybody's like, how do you handle all this hate? Bro, I don't. What do you mean, how do I handle it? I don't handle it. I let you hate. But again, look, if you're looking for it to be a scam, it's gonna be a scam. You have zero chance.
Hey guys, welcome to the YM show. Before we get into today's episode, I want to talk about our main sponsor, which is Dwight Capital, one of the nation's leading commercial real estate finance companies, servicing nearly $20 billion of loans. Dwight closed over $5 billion in 2025, and in 2026 is on track to close over $8 billion in 2026. In addition to being a consistent top HUD lender, Dwight also provides financing for bridge, ground-up construction, mezz, and preferred equity, and revolving lines of credit. Between valuing long-term relationships and offering an institutional level of service without the bureaucracy, Dwight is a trusted financing partner clients continue to return to. One firm across every stage of the capital stack. And with that, let's get right into the show. All right. So, been watching you for years, right, on the YouTubes. And at first, and love your content, you know what I mean? A lot. I want to talk about one thing I asked your team, it's fine if I ask you, is there's a lot of people out there who look at other people's success, I feel like, and maybe it's they're not successful themselves or whatever it is, and they like to look at the little negatives or the little critiques and find things. So lately I've been, before we were doing this interview, I obviously know who you are and all your companies and your books. I read some of your books, and I've seen a lot of like people who literally have a dedicated YouTube channel to like a ripping on you or Patrick or David or whatever, saying like a scammer or this or that. So I'm curious, where do you think that comes from? Do you think people think you're a scammer, or people accuse you of these things because they see you're successful and you're selling these events for 10, 15 grand, or like, what do you, or you think it's just like you bother them because you're loud and you're opinionated and you're successful? Like, what do you think it is?
Well, I don't think I'm loud, So I don't think it's because I'm loud. I think it could be because I'm consistent for long periods of time. So people tend to not like. In the very beginning, what happens is they ignore you. You don't see them ignoring me. You don't see the first 8 or 10 years where nobody even saw anything, didn't. It goes like this. They ignore you, and then they see you, and when they see you, they're going to have an opinion. They either move, not impressed. Not a bad deal, by the way. Not impressed is at least some interest. Mm-hmm. Not impressed is an impression. And then they'll go like, yeah, don't trust him. Look, I've always been a fast talker. I'm a fast talker. I'm a hustler. I'm a grind. You could see it in my movement, right? Like my whole life, ever since I was a kid, at 8 years old, I was moving fast. So anytime somebody moves fast, it's going to be like, okay, what's all this about? So it becomes a little distrusted because people don't trust themselves, And so first they ignore you, then they're like, oh, I have an impression. Now I'm going to have a first impression. It's not always right, by the way. We had a guy that came to work here, Steve Spray. My first impression, and then a lasting 3-year impression, was he's a loser. No way he's going to make it here. Impossible. I tried to fire this guy. I would never have hired him, and I would have fired him probably 6 or 8 times. I'm like, bro, he's never going to get this. The guy's a little like leather. He just dense. He is one of our best people, one of our most disciplined, most efficient, most respectful, integrity-filled, consistent. Like, the guy's super intelligent. Like, he is. But my impression for 3 years, he's been with us 13 years or something. The first 3 was terrible. So there's that band that people are moving through, right? Now then there's the guy that has an impression, you're a scammer, you're a fraud for whatever reason. Those people that say that. And we see it every day. Grifter, scammer, fraud. Why is he selling courses? If he's a billionaire, why would he sell a $297 course or a $20,000 ticket? Because I can. Okay, why does a dentist do a $80,000 veneers? Why does a real estate agent price a house at $5 million rather than $4.8 million? Why is oil $70 one day, $100 the next, and $40? Dude, because you can. Mm-hmm. You close the Hormozi Strait, and gasoline that was crude oil that was $65 is suddenly $105. Why? Because you can. Because the supply is gone. So why can I charge? Why do I do stuff for free? Why did the clickbaiters not say, why does Grant Cardone do free courses 26 weeks of the year? 26 weeks of the year. I do a free course. I did one Saturday, 34,000 people registered for it. Completely free. You don't have to buy anything. I don't know why people do that, bro.
Also, people say, I guess the grifters will say, hey, or the people, will say, hey, it's probably just to funnel them to your real business.
It is a funnel.
I tell them
guys, it is a funnel.
You're choosing to buy, right?
Huh? It is a funnel. It is a funnel. Okay? I am targeting you right now. I'm targeting you. You are part of my funnel. I want you to be in business with me. I want your money. I want you to do a deal with me. I want to convert you from watcher to beer. Like, I want you to move into my ecosystem and find out what we're doing here. Mm-hmm. And so, like, there's no... Now, the thing that people don't like is I walk out and I open with that. I want to convert you, okay, to my beliefs. I'm not, this isn't some, like, hidden scheme. I am telling the world I've raised $2 billion off the internet. I'm going to raise $20 billion. Okay, I'm just making it clear. I'm going to raise $20 billion. I'm going to become a bank. I tell everybody before I do it what I'm going to do. I don't wait to write the book. I'd say, I'm writing a book. I'd like to sell it to you now, before the book is written. Like, I don't even have 3 words in the book written yet, and I'm going to go pre-sell the book. Now, people are going to have an opinion about it. How dare you? How dare you try to sell me something? Okay, good. You're not buying anything from me. The people that are the critics, the people that get stuck in that impression band, ignore you, impressed, not impressed, slightly impressed but negative, impressed and I want to buy. Those are all different levels of impression. I know I'm moving through a guy's band, right? Through his lens of me. If it's a woman, she's probably not going to like me because I'm a threat. I naturally have less immediate connection with a woman. Mm-hmm. I'm a man. Okay? If you're a beta man, well, I got less connection with you too. Because clearly I'm not, there ain't a lot of beta going on here. I'm not trying to be alpha. It is what it is, dude. I'm a bit of a dominating kind of.
You're a go-getter. How old are you now?
I'm 68.
You look like you're probably 55, 56.
Yeah, but thanks.
That's crazy.
So anyway, back to this, because this is really, really important. This is going to happen to you guys. Now, it's not going to happen to those people in this impression band that are at the lower half of the impression band that are like, you're a grifter, you're a fraud. No, you're a grifter and you're a fraud. And you've been involved in grifts and frauds. And that's why you see a grift and a fraud. You can't see what you don't do. It's impossible, dude. People that don't trust other people, it's because you don't trust you. That's what you have to know about all this hate. Everybody's like, how do you handle all this hate? Bro, I don't. What do you mean, how do I handle it? I don't handle it. I let you hate. And I don't put the fire out because there's tremendous energy in that hate. Mm-hmm. Because all that stuff, when you were doing research on this interview, when you start seeing all these people like, this guy's a grift, Grant Cardone's a grifter, Grant Cardone's a scam, Grant Cardone's a fraud, Grant Cardone's doing this, why is he doing that? Whatever you saw online, none of those people bought anything from me. None of them, not one of them. You cannot find anybody.
There's actually one guy who I thought was pretty impressive. He's basically, I watched some of his content, I think you're in one of his videos, and he basically helps people not get scammed, and he charges them to speak to him so they don't get scammed by people like you. I was like, It's literally that, but flipped on its head.
So what you'll find out about his business does not convert.
I don't think it's scalable either.
Well,
right?
I don't know if it's scalable. If it doesn't convert, it's not scalable. But I'll guarantee he's having a conversion problem. Okay? Because when you're dealing with people that don't have trust, this is a scam. Oh, that means somebody sees it and says, I go to that. I don't look at stuff like that. I'm looking for solutions, not scams. So I convert easily because I'm looking to pay for a solution, right? Let's say you're online, or peptide's a scam. You're not a buyer.
Interesting.
Okay? Because you're not looking for a solution. You're looking for a scam. And guess what? You're going to get one. If you believe it's not going to work, it ain't going to work. This is why we tell people that invest with me. I'm like, look, guys, if you have a bad track record of investing, if your past 3 investments didn't work, if you've been involved in lawsuits and problems and challenges and partnership issues and nothing you do works, please do not put money in my fund because I don't want you to drag my shit down. See, it's where the guy's coming from, his energy, because I know this because I used to come from here. The first 25 years I was on this planet, dude, really between the ages of 10 and 25, 15 years, I was kind of locked in to losses.
What do you think flipped it for you?
Well, it didn't work. Like I had to get rid of the loss. I lost my dad when I was young. And then I lost my older brother when I was 20. So I had 2 major life losses. And in between, I started seeing things as losses. I start mounting them. The individual you start collecting what you believe. You know, like if you want to go.
How did you make that mind switch? Because
well, it just took time.
Nowadays, who have 2 parents, and it's like very hard for them to see, the positive or see how they can build, and they're kind of like stuck in like everything's hard, everything.
Yeah, well, hold that, okay? Because getting out of it, you can't get out of it if you don't know you're in it. And like right now, I'm just telling the audience, like that guy, back to that guy that you said he runs a website that converts people from. Protecting them from scams.
Yeah, I think it's his whole channel is just like internet people who charge for, let's say, course or charge for a consulting. I think mainly consulting he goes after.
Yeah,
I found it interesting that like he's dedicated his life to this.
Yeah, guys, I've taken $2 billion off the internet, and I've never sold a bar soap. Okay, $2 billion running ads, promotions, selling courses, tickets. I was listening to Alex Hormozi the other day. I think he was on Logan Paul or Jake Paul's, one of the Paul brothers. Do you sell courses? And Alex says, no, we don't sell courses. I'm like, I do. I sell fucking courses. Okay? I sell courses. By the way, I buy courses. And I don't have a problem with it, dude. I don't know what the big hang up here. Oh no, I don't sell courses. Okay, well, okay. And I don't know if Alex sells them or not. And I don't know why the Pauls have a problem with it. Does the WWE sell tickets to an event? Of course they do. What's the fucking problem? Okay? I spent 17 years going to schools that taught me almost nothing. I bought that. Right? I spent 5 years to get an accounting degree, ended up with $40,000 of debt. Is college a scam? Maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe it is.
I think it's also paid.
But if my intention,
if someone pays for something and they actually want to do that thing, not if someone's just like, oh, I'm inspired and I want to pay for this. But like, for example, when I want to start my podcast, I knew what to do. I went on ChatGPT a year ago. I was like, I knew it, but I ended up paying for a course happily. Yeah, I think Omar El Takori, I shot him out. He has a great, he makes a lot of hundreds of thousands of dollars a month selling how to build a personal brand or how to run a podcast. And I was like, I felt like if I paid that $200, your stuff is probably a lot more, but like it was $200, and I was like, okay. Now that I paid for it and like I committed to it, I'm going to learn and follow, and I followed through. Yeah. Maybe it would
Did you get your $200 worth?
Tenfold. I'm sitting here with you.
Okay. So like, if you get one thing, dude, look, you don't. But again, look, if you're looking for it to be a scam, it's going to be a scam. You have zero chance. If you go take a peptide, BPC 157, and you don't think it's going to work, trust me, it will not work. You have to be a participant. When you watch a TV show, when you watch a Mission Impossible, and he's climbing the Dubai Tower, whatever the name of the Burj Khalifa, you have to be a participant in the stunt. You understand? Like, you got to know that Tom Cruise is not actually Like, he's got a cable on. Now, you have to forget the cable to really benefit from the show and get excited about, oh, shit, could he fall? Mm-hmm. You have to be a participant in the scam. And you have to be a participant in the solution. This is what I would tell anybody. All you guys that are worried about being scammed on the internet or scammed in the grocery store, scammed with the health club or whatever it is you're buying, okay? You are a participant in the scam because you made a decision to be scammed. You know, a con game runs like this. The con artist knows the target must be motivated by greed. You cannot run a con on somebody that wants pure value. You can't. If you study con games, if you go back and watch the movie The Sting with Paul Newman and Steve McQueen and Paul Newman, I think it was. Somebody look that up for me. Give me the right data. We need one of those boards. I need a third guy in here. You know,
like Joe Rogan has Jamie.
Yeah, exactly. I need a Jamie, dude. Come on, I need some.
Well, how did Madoff? What did Bernie do? Made off to raise all his capital. Or...
Yeah, Bernie stole $38 billion or something. You know, and all those people were participants because you were getting something for nothing. Same thing with the Bitcoin guy. That's in jail. People weren't doing the research, dude.
I want to get to your Bitcoin real estate thing.
Yeah, we will, and we will. And this is good though. This is good, and we're in no rush. I got plenty.
I don't know how much time do you have because I have a lot I want to cover, but I'm happy we're touching this.
Yeah, no, this is really important. Nobody's ever spent any time on this on the internet talking about this. I've never sat down and talked about this.
No, because I was doing my research before. Right? Obviously, I know who you are.
But
I was seeing a lot of this stuff, and I was like, it's something I want to address.
Yeah, you should. You should. People should ask about it, and people should really confront this thing because it's a problem. It's a problem for you if you believe you're going to be scammed, you're going to be scammed. Mm-hmm. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have an eye open all the time. I do. Like, you know how many people I have coming to me, pitching me deals, dude?
Oh, sure.
I mean, and one thing you do want to stay away from is scammers. And there are scammers out there. I'm not saying there are not scammers out there. You just got to do due diligence. I don't expect people to tell me the truth. I expect them to lie to me. I expect people to exaggerate, lie, get the details wrong. It's what people do. Human beings do that. They make mistakes, right? So I make mistakes. I exaggerate things, I was saying I had 15,000 units. We were at 14,200. Okay, well, I rounded up. Does that make me a criminal? No. I have 15,000 now. So, I would just tell people like, this many people win in life. And this many people don't. And that is what it is. When I sell a course to somebody, I'm telling them, hey, bro, this many people. This is the people I'm looking for. I'm not looking for these people. Okay? You're probably one of these people, by the way. And I'm going to assume that you're one of these people that aren't going to get anything out of it. 83% of all books, including the Bible, the Quran, every book that's ever been written, 83% of these books are never finished. Somebody finished writing the book, and 83% of the people that bought the book didn't finish reading the book. Was the book a scam? I guess it was. You scam yourself out of buying something and then not finishing it and not reading it. And then here's the other scam on books. You read it once and didn't read it a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time, and a fifth time, and a sixth time, and a seventh time, and a 10th time. You could have read that fucking book 10 times. Uh-oh. I just cussed. Send this clip to your dad. Sorry, Pops.
That was the third one.
Okay. You could have read the same book that you bought once 10 times and only paid for it once. You scam yourself. Like, there's books I've read 7 times, man. I'm like, that book is so good, I'm going to go back and see what I missed the first time. So anyway.
Yeah, but it also depends on what people, putting that value to. For example, let's say someone's into designer clothing, that has like a big logo, which I think is not like nonsense. They'll pay $2,000.
Yeah, my wife is a Chanel junkie.
Right? They'll pay $2,000 for a shirt, right?
Yeah,
is that a scam? I mean, if they see the value in that, right? Or also, like, another thing is people are willing to spend their hard-earned money on these courses or on these seminars. So it's kind of like,
dude, I went to Kanye West the other night. Okay, I don't know what we paid for the tickets, but 75,000 people in a room. The show was an hour and a half. Kanye was fantastic, but nobody earned any money there. I asked the guy in front of me, "What'd you pay for your ticket?" He's like, $500. I said, "How long you been here?" "Since 3:00 in the afternoon." He spent 6 hours earning no money to be entertained for 90 minutes. And he'll walk away with no skill, just a memory. Was it a scam? No, he's got a great memory. I just rented a boat in the south of France for 4 or 5 days. The tip to the crew was 20 grand. Okay. Was it a scam? I don't know, dude. The boat probably cost the guy $70 million, and I got to use it for 4 or 5 days. Mm-hmm. It's just what are you looking for? If you're looking for a scam, you're going to see one. And if you're looking for, all I want is one thing. Like when I grab a book, I'm like, I just need one thing. I'm looking for one thing, any one thing. I'm going to read something. Okay, one thing, man. Oh, become a decamillionaire. See, one line, dude. I could benefit from one line. There was a book that I got when I was 18 or 19 years old. I was under 20. Never read the book. I think I stole it from a friend. You know, have you ever been at a friend's house and you're like, he ain't reading it? Forget it. I'll bring it home. Fourth time. I'll bring it home with me. I brought it home with me as how to build a real estate empire. Never read the book beyond the title. The title of that book, I'm convinced, planted a seed for me to build a real estate empire.
What age was this at?
Huh?
What age was this at?
I'm 50 years ago, dude.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into the YM Show. It really means a lot to me. We'll be right back to the episode in about 30 seconds. But before that, I want to talk about a company I personally founded called YMW Security here in South Florida, servicing schools, places of worship, high-end condominiums, and HOAs here in South Florida, all the way from Miami up to Tampa. And if you hate the security at your current property and you're not happy with the company or the people or the service, reach out to us. I'll put a link below or DM me. We'd love to help you guys and get you guys better service. Now let's get right back to the show.
1975. Your dad was leaving Iran. Wow. Yeah. So anyway, and for all you guys, and the last thing I want to say about all you guys that clickbait my name and use it to and back to the guy.
YouTube pays well. They're probably getting a lot of views. Like
they're getting views.
Get 100, 200, 300,000 views.
Yeah, they're getting views. They're basically not selling courses. They're selling. Google's your pimp. You're a bitch. Basically, the guy that does that, he's a bitch to Google ad dollars. You're basically, oh my God, look, I made $40 running a Grant Cardone video, how he's potentially a scammer. None of those people don't convert. They don't convert because they're low, very low in the band of people, okay? The band of people you want, or people that want to buy something for a solution like you. I want to buy something for a solution. I don't want to buy something to remind me that I was tricked. So it's the intention of the viewer. And that conversion rate is very, very low of those people that go from no trust to I'm going to buy something. They're never going to be satisfied, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's one part about that. And the second part about the haters is you guys that run these channels, just a message to you. Please don't stop. I need you. Okay. You are so useful to me. Okay. You are basically... You're wood on my fire, and I don't have to chop the wood.
That's kind of what Trump does. No, he uses other people hating on him to build his name.
Dude, I love it, bro. I love it. Like, please keep putting video up. And get big, get a bunch of money. The reason I haven't sued most of you punks is because you fucking ain't got anything to get. Okay, but once you do have something, and you cross the line, and all of a sudden you have some boat money, I'm going to come fucking get a couple $100 million from you.
They're going more after Patrick but David now. I think, because he has like his $100,000 consulting call and stuff. So I guess people see that and they get either jealous, they call it a total scheme, but there's people willing to pay it, right? Someone's worth a few $100 million. It's all relative, right? To have a conversation with someone. I think didn't Alex Hormozi pay you $100,000 to speak to you or something? Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And look what he's done with it.
I probably do 2 or 3 of those a week. I don't want to do any of them, by the way. All the money goes to our foundation.
That's awesome.
And I'm not going to meet with somebody that doesn't want to pay. Like, what am I doing? So you don't pay. I'm going to sit down with you and waste my time and energy when I could be earning money. It's not fair to my family, my future, my goals, my dreams. We raise about $10 million a year for our foundation. All this money goes to help kids that I don't know, don't look like me, don't come, they're not my kids. And so if Patrick Bet David wants to charge 50 or 100 grand or 200 grand or $1 million to meet people, I don't know why that's a problem. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
And by the way, the guy that has a problem with it ain't got a fucking 100 grand. You ain't got 100 grand to pay Patrick Bet David, and if you did, you probably couldn't even duplicate what PBD told you. You probably couldn't even walk away with enough courage to go implement anything he told you.
Yeah.
So what do? You sit in your little fucking room in your mama's basement like a little bitch talking about, oh, Grant Cardone charges 100 grand. Alex Hormozi paid me 100 grand. Him and his wife came in, spent, I think it was 1 hour.
I think he said he needed
At 38 minutes, he's like, I'm good. Because he got what he needed. This was 3 or 4 years ago. Went back, implemented on it. That 100 grand's made him hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, but the issue is not the issue, but I'm saying people are playing at different playing fields, right? So you have someone, let's say, making minimum wage, so they can't fathom that number. They'll call it a scam. But someone like Alex Hormozi, who has doing hundreds of millions, for him, like a little piece of advice, he spends 100 grand for. It's like, let's say, me spending $20 on a lunch. You know what I mean? Kind of all relative.
It's all relative, man.
So, like, for example, Patrick Day went to one of his events, right? So people will call him a scammer. What I took away from that was inspiring. Like what someone kind of what you built.
Patrick's a good dude,
like
man.
Look what he built. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people, no one forced me to be there.
That's right, dude.
So it's like I thought I saw that and I was like, this is inspiring. Look what he's built. He's done this. He's built this. He has this many employees. He has this team. He's
Where was that event?
It was SLS. I think it was in Doral.
Yeah. So he probably paid $200,000 or $300,000 for the hotel.
Yeah.
Marketing probably cost him another, who knows. So you bought the ticket for how much? Would you pay?
$2,000.
$2,000. You paid $2,000 and he paid 600 grand. Who got the better deal? You did. I rented Miami Marlins Stadium. We paid, I don't know, $10 million for that event. Put 34,000 people in a room.
Also, you're taking the risk. If you don't sell your tickets,
I got $10 million invested. Okay. Derek Jeter says, I can't fill the place up. This place was built for baseball, and we can't fill it up. What are you doing thinking you can fill it up? I said, bro, I only got to fill it up for 3 days. And the people I'm going to put in here, they want to learn how to make money, okay? These aren't spectators that you're having to bring out on a June 20th in the middle of the week to watch a fucking boring-ass baseball game where you guys always lose. So we put 34,000 people. We sold 38,000 tickets to get 34,000 people to show up. I had to sell more tickets. But I paid $10 million. Brandon Dawson and his wife each paid $20,000. I didn't know these people. We had a VIP section right in front of the stage. There's a massive stadium. We'll get you the B-roll for it so you can pop it in there. Awesome. Massive stadium. I mean, we had probably 34,000 people. I think we had 4,000 seats that we gave away free. Firemen, policemen, military, nurses, first responders. Gave those away, and then we had 34,000 seats left to sell because we knew 4,000 or 5,000 people wouldn't show up. So I know that I'm going to sell. I got 34,000 seats. I need to sell at least 10%, maybe 15% more, just to make sure the place is full.
Like what airlines do, right, with tickets?
You have to oversell the event because people won't show up. Somebody's going to get stuck in traffic. Plane flight's going to get canceled. I think there was some vortex in the country that shut people from flying in. Blah. There's stuff that's going to happen, right? And we don't want an empty stadium. We want a full stadium. So we priced the tickets like we took the stadium. The stage was set up on second base, facing the stadium, facing home plate. So I'm basically talking to home plate. I'm out on second base, right? Big ass stadium, dude. And I'm terrified. I'm like, there's no way we're going to sell this many tickets. It took us a year to sell the place. But I got $10 million invested. Now, this dude, Brandon and Natalie, that I don't know, bought $20,000 tickets. My guys come to me and said, 2 people just bought a $20,000 ticket. I said, who are those people? I want to know that guy. Because his intentions are different than the fireman.
He's come for something.
That took a free ticket. Okay? Now, the fireman might end up being a big boy too, by the way. He might end up having this great invention. We had some $297 tickets. We had some $97 tickets, $297, $29.97. And as you got closer to the show, closer to the stage, they got more expensive. I got a guy bought a $497 ticket that was a drug dealer. This is a true story, okay? Number one drug dealer in the state of Florida. I find out about this later. He wants an upgrade. He's like, I need to move up to the closer to the action. He upgrades his ticket for $2,000 to get closer to the floor. And I said, well, somebody came to me and says, Grant, we heard this guy's a drug dealer. Well, how big is he? He's like the number 3 drug dealer in Florida. I said, what's he here for? He wants to 10X his business. I said, oh, shit. I'll come back to that in a second, okay? So I said, who's the guy, Natalie and Brandon, that bought these $20,000 tickets? We might have had, I don't know, 75 of those. Maybe 100 of those at 15 and 20 grand. Because I can't do research on 34,000 people, but I can do it on 100. This guy's basically saying, I'm a player, I'm a big player, I'm coming with different intentions. I'm one of these. You remember I talked about these? Mm-hmm. There's this big bucket of people out there, and there's this many winners. You're a winner. You decided to be here, dude. Okay, I'm a winner. I've decided. But I'm with 8 billion people, bro, and most of them don't want to win. They want to win, but they're not willing to pay the price to win. That's on them. I'm looking for these people to spend my time with. So you know, Brandon becomes a partner in a business 6 years later. 6 years ago, he came and met me, paid the $20,000, invested $20,000. His company this year, we have 2 companies, 2 partnerships together. They're going to probably make $300 million this year. I own 50% of it.
Incredible.
Now, the reason I charged him to be there, I could have done it for free, but I couldn't have rented the stadium because I'd be out of money. So the different tiers of tickets basically show people where they're at. Okay, maybe somebody got a free ticket, maybe somebody gave a ticket away, maybe somebody sat in the cheap seats. By the way, if you're sitting in the nosebleeders, you know the people in the nosebleeder want to be on the field. I started in the nosebleeder. I went to see Leon Spinks and Muhammad Ali fight. This had to be 1980. I've never told some of these stories, by the way. You're bringing the best stories out of me. And these were nosebleed seats, dude. They were like $19, and I was in the Superdome. This is 1980 something, and I don't know what got into me, bro, but I'm like, I ain't sitting up here. Fuck it. And I went all the way down, dude.
I give up on that.
I went down to an earlier seat, to a lower seat, to a lower seat, to a lower seat. Nobody stopped me. And the next thing you know, I'm ringside. I was maybe 18 years old, 17, 18 years old. And I decided when I was 17, 18, I ain't sitting in the nosebleeds. I ain't sitting in the back, okay? I was at a charity event maybe eight or 9 years ago, and I was in the back of the room. And I'm like, there was a lot of people at this charity event. And I'm like, who's in the front? Well, those are the big donors. Well, how much do they give? Well, some of, like 200 grand. I said, fuck. 7. Is that what it takes to get on the front? There was guys up there who gave 200 grand, 500 grand, 5 million, 10 million, 100 million. I'm like, what am I doing sitting in the back of the room, dude? That's a scam. Don't scam yourself, Get to the front of the room.
I like it. So,
anyway, that's why we had those different tiers. The last thing on the drug dealer, because the story ends pretty good. On Sunday, the drug dealer said, I want to give a message to Mr. Cardone. I figured out how to 10X my business. I said, what did he say? Okay, Snoop's there. By the way, I had Snoop there. I said, Snoop, I got the number 3 drug dealer in Florida in the room. What's he here for? Snoop's smoking. What's he here for? I said, guy wants to 10X his business. Okay. I said, you know what he said? He's like, how you going to 10X? How's he going to 10X his business? He came to me and said, I'm going to 10X my business. The way to do that is to get out of the drug trade. I got to become a legitimate businessman. So the story ended well. I hope he made it.
So what do you think separates, I guess, the winners from the losers, right? Because nowadays, I believe, I could totally be wrong, right?
Yeah.
People don't necessarily need the course, so they don't need everything's available on ChatGPT or on Claude, right?
Yeah, not everything.
People could, not everything, right?
Not
but
everything.
I'm saying theoretically, right? Someone could say, hey, I want to get involved in real estate. I want to buy my first single family, my first multifamily, my first whatever. I want to start my business. And it can give them a full game plan based on their budget, based on where they're holding. Like,
Yeah.
it's incredible what
Yeah.
ChatGPT can do. So do you think it takes someone, with that will to go do it and execute on those things, or do some people need the kick in the butt by paying the money and be like, okay, I better send it now? Like how do you look at it?
I don't know what everybody needs. I do know that, my life has changed incredibly when I had somebody pushing me.
Mm-hmm.
When I had somebody encouraging me, believing in me more than I believed in myself. Even today, by the way, I look for other people to can I do this, dude?
You have mentors today?
Oh yeah, 100%. And so, like I'm gonna be with a guy Friday, flying to New York. Super. I mean, if I told you I'm not going to tell you his name, but everybody watching this would know who this guy is. The whole world knows this dude. And I was spending some time with him recently, dude. He shared some stuff with me. I'm like, he's in a completely different industry. It has nothing to do with what I do. But he shared some stuff with me. It literally brings tears to my eyes right now because he understood exactly where I'm at in my life right now. That nobody else could possibly understand unless you had been there. Impossible to understand. And which is when you get to a certain place in life, it becomes very, very isolated. And you're like, you're by yourself. No matter how many people you have around you, no matter how big your board is, your family, no matter how much love and support you have, there's moments where you're just by yourself in decisions. And I'm telling this dude this, and he's like, oh man, I understand, dude. And like this cat understood. He's like, I'm going to tell you a story. And he tells me, I'm like, oh, bro, this guy gets what I'm talking about. I don't know if your audience understands what I'm saying right now, but very, very important to have somebody where you're at to affirm and acknowledge that what you're going through is real. 1, 2, provide you without evaluating, not like a psychologist, or to help you like understand, dude, it's normal what you're going through. It's not. Something's not wrong, because if you don't have anybody to relate to, bro, you're going to think something's wrong with you. Mm-hmm. You're an outlier. It's an odd thing, right? And what he did was validate. No, what you're going through is real, bro. And by the way, then he told me this: shit ain't never changing. There's going to be times where you're all by yourself, and you're the only one that knows the right thing to do. And I was like, oh shit, And then he said, just don't quit, dude. You can do it. You can get there. Just don't quit. See it through. See it all the way through. Just add one little thing of wood. Don't quit, because when you quit, you got to start over again. Now, I know all that stuff, right? Everybody that's listening to this right now knows that. But when you hear it from a guy that has tremendous amounts of altitude and experience and success, then you're like, okay, you start to have that belief. So I think it's really, really important and people should understand the difference between a mentor and a coach. A coach is somebody that's going to give you a play to run next. A mentor is somebody that's going to it's a much more longer relationship. And it doesn't mean I bought anything. I don't have to buy anything to be mentored by somebody, but I do need to know how to be a mentee.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would say that like Elon, somebody I'm studying right now. He's my mentor right now. I'm studying. He has nothing to do with anything that I do. But his skill set, his beliefs, delete, get rid of stuff, simplify, see it all the way through. Make sure, I was just in a meeting right now, and I literally quoted Elon on this, like, make sure the product's great. Product needs to be great. Okay? Because if you don't have a great product, then you got to rely on marketing. Okay.
I can't get rid of these.
And if the marketing's no good, then you got to rely on sales. The closer you get to sales, the further away you got from the product. So anyway, yeah, man, people need mentors, dude. So and it doesn't. You're going to pay. You're going to pay something. You're going to pay in time, or you're going to pay in money, or you're going to pay in both.
Yeah, because if somebody doesn't have a network, right, or people they know in that business, they're working a 9-to-5 somewhere, they want to get involved in real estate, and they don't have friends or community members that are involved in real estate or that industry they're in a way, they either have to pay to get involved and be around people, or they have to start, looking to join online communities, or
you do it yourself, dude.
Rooms, right?
You do it yourself.
Thing, right?
Yeah, go do it yourself.
So
but doing it yourself means you're going to make a bunch of mistakes. You're not going to have confidence. You're probably going to do it. You're going to probably take longer to do it than you should have. Only an idiot, only a complete idiot would take the time to learn by themselves.
That's why I read books.
Huh?
That's why I read a book a month.
Yeah, dude. It'd be stupid to build a car. Just buy one. You know, you need a hospital. What are you going to do? Go build one? No, dude, you go to the hospital. Is the hospital a scam? Maybe. Maybe it's a scam. Seems like it's a scam. You know, I mean, the better thing to do would be not get sick. But, you know, you need to fly a plane from L.A. to Miami. You don't build a plane. You get on one.
Yeah.
By the way, no matter what you paid to get on that seat, it was still cheaper than that airlines. So it's where people see value.
Interesting perspective, yeah.
You know?
And I like it.
Yeah.
But I kind of, something I want to, whenever I say with successful people like yourself, I'm always curious, because younger guys like me, they want to make it, they want to grind, they want to grow, right? But we see people like you, right? You're almost 70, and you've amassed, over $5 billion in real estate net worth, probably almost $1 billion, or whatever. It's online. It says $600 million to $1 billion, right?
No, it's wrong, dude. It's way wrong.
What is it? Oh, you can't say it. Doesn't matter.
I can say.
You don't care. You say these things, right?
I mean, I know what it is. I don't know why people talk. All these people that post what it is, I don't know why they don't call me and say, "What is it, bro?"
So you have to liquidate everything today. What would you be worth?
If I had to liquidate everything, what price did it liquidate at?
I guess it depends on the market right now. It
Yeah.
depends on everything.
So I would liquidate if I had to liquidate 10x Health System. If I sold 10x Health System, what's it going to bring? Is it going to bring 500 million, $1 billion, $1.5 billion, or $4 billion? I have valuations that would support all those. If I had to sell my education business that's done $130 million of revenue a year for the last 8 years, it nets about $40 million a year. If it sold at a 10x, it's worth $300 million. I wouldn't sell it for $300 million. I wouldn't. I mean, somebody offered me $300 million, I wouldn't sell it, because I know it'll make that in the next 8 years. It'll net that.
Yeah.
And it's my purpose line anyway, to help people. So my real estate business has got $3 billion of equity in it. If I fire sold the real estate, $2.2 billion of real debt, $5.3 billion, so $3.1 billion. I wouldn't sell any of that real estate today.
What's your GP split on most of these things? It's like an 80-20 or 75-25?
Well, on the first 6,000 units, I own 100% of it, or 95.1% or something.
Savage.
So there's no split. I own it all. The 4%, I probably get a 35% override on the promote, but all our money's out of that deal. Those deals are probably worth. Just those that I own all of are probably worth today $600 million. We've gotten our money out of them.
So ChatGPT is way off, way low.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's off by 3 times at least.
Yeah, because what I was seeing was like
Cardone Ventures, the consulting company, it does $150 million a year with about $38 million of EBITDA. What's it worth? I'm starting a wealth advisory business that's probably worth $200 or $300 million, and I ain't taken a penny in yet.
That's genius, because the wealth advising, you take a point on everything, right?
2 points.
2 points.
It'll be 2 and 20.
Nice.
So, but the net worth thing.
And that's not even the books, right? That's probably not. What do books make? I'm curious.
Nothing.
I love the books. The books are great.
Yeah, I love books too, dude. Books tell you the difference between a guy. It just separates people.
How long does it take you to write a book? Like your first one, like
my first book was that book right there, that red book, Sell or Be Sold. Not that one.
Okay, that was the first one. Okay.
Yeah, the red book took 3 hours to write that book, start to finish.
That was before ChatGPT.
Oh yeah, there was no ChatGPT.
Now anyone can write a book.
Yeah. That book, the real estate book, I don't know, that didn't take very long. That wasn't hard to write. That was an easy book to write. The 10X Rule took about 1.5 years. Be Obsessed to Be Average took 2 years. I hated that book. It's a great book, but I hated the writing of it. And then the little Millionaire booklet. Where's that little Millionaire booklet? This book I got help on. Just to be, I wrote all those other books. This book I got help on, a lot of help on. Mm-hmm. And then the Millionaire book took me like 3 minutes to write. It's a little pamphlet. So it's a smart book to write.
How do you go about writing a book? Like,
get an idea. I get an idea to write.
An hour every night, or are you banging it out on a weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't written one in a while now, so it's like, it's hard, man.
You're just constantly moving.
I mean, it's just hard. It's hard to write a book and to get all your ideas in the right order. It's not something I recommend for people. I would much rather see people write a little PDF. You don't have to write these 300-page books anymore. It's not what people want. You know, people want short, concise, how do I do X? You know? By the time somebody writes a book, it's probably too late. I would go back and look at some of the books that help people, though. Like, there's some great books out there that can help people. Yeah, like this book. This book was written. This was a funnel. So for you guys that are like, oh, Grant Cardone's everything he does is a funnel. Fuck yeah, you damn right it is, bruh. Like, you ain't got a funnel, you ain't got a tunnel. You ain't got it. All of life is a funnel, okay? And so this little book became. This book was translated to 38 languages within 28 days, and I didn't spend a penny, not one penny. And I wrote this after a charity event, created tens of millions of dollars with this little simple book. So that was inspired by being at a charity event. I gave $1 million to this charity. Everybody freaked out at the end. The target was $2 million. They had raised $1 million. They're grinding the room out to raise the other $1 million. I'm like, I'll do it. Room went crazy, man. Like, there's 300 people there. Like, oh my God, you're so great. I didn't. What I got from that experience was that it wasn't that I was so great. It's that everybody wanted to be me in that moment. I'm like, everybody wants to give.
Yeah.
And I believe that. I believe everybody, if everybody was made rich today, you would actually end up giving most of your money away. Most people would end up giving. If you were in the right situation, in the right charity, in the right event, something you love, you'd be like, I'll help with that. If people could help more, they would. And I went home that night so inspired, man. It was 10:30 at night. I'm driving home. My wife's driving the car because she complains about my driving. And so I'm like, you drive. And I'm like, damn, man, that was good. That was great. You know, I said, she's like, what's your big takeaway? I said, everybody wants to help if they could. Everybody wanted to be me tonight.
Is that what keeps you going now? Because it
really does. It really does.
Like I said, you know it, right? You made your money.
Yeah, but let me go there in a second. I told my wife, I'm going home tonight. I'm gonna write a book on how to become a millionaire. I'm gonna write it tonight too. And by midnight, we had a landing page up. I forget what we called it first. It's called the Millionaire Booklet. I think it was called The Millionaire in You or something. And then Sherry said, Sherry, I'm writing a book tonight. She was at the event. She's my CEO. She's like, you can't write a book. You're under an agreement right now with Be Obsessed or Be Average, Penguin Random, or whoever the name of the company is. You can't write another book. I said, okay, good. We're going to call it the Millionaire Booklet. Because they didn't have an agreement on booklets. What's it called?
Millionaire Booklet.
The Millionaire Booklet. So we did a pamphlet, and I went online. I said, guys, I'm doing this book. It's going to be $30. I'll sell it to you for $14.98. Pre-order it. Grab as many as you want to. By the way, I'm looking for people to translate to another language. If you want to translate, I'll send you the book for free, and you could start translating your language, and then we'll give you credit for it. That book's in 38 languages. I didn't spend a penny. And create a massive funnel. And then we started doing webinars on how to become a millionaire, what millionaires do, and charging for the courses behind that, like sales and marketing, et cetera. And it made a lot of money and reached a lot of people and helped a lot of people. And I'm sure somebody still thinks that's a scam.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, being a millionaire is a scam. I'm going to tell you right now.
What do you mean?
Okay? Because the come-on's wrong. Because $1 million is not a lot of money.
With inflation now. I mean, but like 20 years ago it was a lot.
It's nothing, dude. It's nothing. Like a millionaire, you're going to find out you're still you're as close to emergency poverty as you can possibly get.
What do you think is the new million these days? 5?
The new million, oh no, at least 10. It's at least 10. It's probably more like 20.
So I want to go back really
quick,
to when you were, I guess, you overdosed in drugs, right?
Yeah.
You overdosed. So how did you go from, you lost your father, right? You lost your brother. You overdosed. Like, how did you get your head straight? And what was your first, kind of understanding of real estate, or finding your first deal, or putting the money together? You've probably said this a million times, but I just
there are different questions, right? Like, I got to get through the drugs first. So, I overdosed 3 times, man, and somebody would intervene. My mom came and woke me up. I would have probably died that night. I was definitely overdosed, and so you got to get over the drugs. You're not going to do anything great on drugs. Nobody beats the drug god. So I had to get off that. I started using drugs when I was 15 or 16 years old. Brother and two other guys, Russell and Brian, smoking weed. Next thing you know, dude, like literally in 90 days, we're experimenting with everything. Within 6 months, I'm using drugs every day. And I didn't go into that thinking that was going to happen. But it did. And by 25, I went to rehab, got off the drugs, and made a decision. Okay, I'm going to improve my life. I'm going to stay off of drugs. And there was two things they told me. Said, look, you need to help a lot of people. You need to help other people. If you want to stay off of drugs, you need to help yourself, improve yourself every day, stay busy, improving yourself. And two, you got to help other people. And that's really who I am still today, dude. Every day I'm trying to improve myself a little bit, and I'm trying to help somebody else. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this. Hopefully this will reach somebody out there right now. This message right here. You're on drugs. You're smoking. You're popping pills. You're using X. You experiment with all the hallucinogenics and you're hearing this bullshit that you got to do this and that to reach this and that. You don't, bro. Stop it. Okay. You're depending on something else to get you to find somebody you're not yet. Okay. You're not going to find you depending on something else. You're going to find you when you don't depend on other things. And nobody beats the drug guy, ever. Elvis didn't beat it. Jackson didn't beat it. Nobody wins. And there's no drugs that are good drugs. And so I'm not being a moralist here. I have fun. I do a lot of crazy stuff. But the drugs, man, it all ends in one way with drugs. So if you're on drugs right now, man, stop them. Stop them cold, by the way. Don't believe that bullshit. And there's a lot of prescription drugs people are addicted to today that weren't around 30 years ago or even 15 years ago. Don't believe these doctors that tell you can't stop cold turkey because it's bullshit. They don't want you to ever stop. That's why they tell you don't cold turkey. Because I've cold turkey drugs before. Now, I'm not giving you doctor advice right now or anything. I'm just telling you. These people will keep you hooked up as long as they possibly can. And all these, last thing I'll say about the drug thing, all these other made up diseases, these are made up bullshit diseases. The ADD, the ADHD, the bipolar, the depression. Depression is a made up fucking condition. It is made up. Okay? You're not depressed, you're disappointed. You're disappointed with who you are right now because you should be. You don't need meds for that. You need to get off your ass and don't be disappointed with yourself. And until you're not disappointed, once you're pleased with what you're doing, you will not be depressed. You won't. So, and that is medical advice, by the way, from Dr. Cardone.
Movement is life.
Movement, bro. You got to move, man. You got to move. Move back into the deal and you won't be depressed. And most of you out there can't afford this concept. I heard 50 Cent say this to me. He told me, he's like, I said, people are always talking about depression. He's like, I love your angle on depression. 50's telling me this. Love your angle on depression. I said, what was that? He's like, I can't afford it. I said, it's that simple, guys. You're not entitled to be depressed. Okay, get off your ass, do some work, hit a challenge, hit an obstacle, be scared, because if you're scared, you're not depressed. Now you're scared. That's moving up. I go from sad and depressed, I can't do it, to, I'm doing it, and I'm doing it terribly. Okay, that's better than not doing anything. So anyway, that's the drug. That's my drug. My 2 cents on drugs, particularly the prescription drugs, the approved drugs. Mm-hmm. Those are the most dangerous today. So how do I fix it, dude? At 25, I'm like, I'm gonna read, I'm gonna study, I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna stay busy. And the second thing, I'm gonna help people. If I learn something, I'm gonna share it with somebody else. So most of this stuff that I do 26 weeks of the year on a Saturday afternoon. For 4 hours, 5 hours, how to get involved in real estate, how to become a great salesman, how to market, how to scale. All those events that I do that are free that people call a scam, that's for me trying to help somebody. I help a whole bunch of people, and then guess what? Some of those people are like, I don't just want this help. I want to do something more significant with you, which is I want to give you more money, or I want to invest with you, or I want to partner with you, or I want to come to one of your events. I want to go deep with you. I want to learn more. That funnel, those people funnel themselves down to become more quality. And that's who I end up having relationships with. Mm-hmm. And that's who I end up getting inspired from. You know, the guy I was telling you about earlier that I'm going to spend Friday with. Okay? Yeah. He's like, dude. He's not in my space. Jonathan Morgan was in here the other day. Did you see that interview?
I didn't see that one yet.
Yeah, so Jonathan, he does $2.5 billion of revenue a year.
Morgan, of course.
Morgan and Morgan.
He's a legend.
Okay. He says,
I watched some of that last night.
Yeah. John tells me, we're walking out of the building. He's like, what's it like to help so many people? I said, what do you mean? He's like, dude, that's got to feel good. I said, man, it feels great. He wants to do more of that.
Yeah, you were thanking him for being a winner. I saw that.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, when you get around winners, thank him, man.
It
takes a lot to win. Dude.
I see him everywhere.
Do you see that guy everywhere? Omnipresence.
He's on every bus stop, every billboard.
Totally.
He also can't like you. He came for nothing.
Yeah. So that's why I had him here, because I'm inspired by him. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not in legal. Now, some people are going to say what he does is slip and fall. He's taking advantage of bad situations. I mean, I hate lawyers.
You gotta pay him so much.
Huh?
You gotta pay him so much on every deal.
Yeah. But, just because I don't like the space he's in doesn't mean I don't admire the business that he's built and can't learn something from it.
So then how did you do your first deal?
Yeah, first deal. Well, that came a lot, I didn't go buy real estate after I got out.
You're doing sales, right? You're doing like
I quit the drugs. I was a sales guy. First thing you got to do is you got to become good at something. So I see people trying to I'm going to go into real estate, or I'm going to go into this, or dude, get good at something. And then once you get good at it, you need to master it. You need to get great at it, because nobody's going to pay you for good. There ain't no money in good. How was the movie? It was good. Well, how good? Yeah. Ain't nobody paying. Nobody's recommending good. That movie that's out right now, Vigilante. It was banned in Germany. Citizen Vigilante. Is it a good movie? Yeah, it's all right, dude. Okay, why did 10 million people watch it this weekend? Because it was banned in Germany. Okay, they took it away, said you can't have. Eminem, his career exploded when the U.S. government tried to ban him. So they withdrew the supply, and then people want it. Demand goes up. And so you got to get good at something, dude. And then you got to get great at it, because there's no demand for good. The demand is for great. And the greater you are, the more demand there is for it, because the supply is so small. Supply and demand. Okay, there's tremendous supply of good. There's more good than there is bad. There's bad, lots of good, this much great. And the only thing, and if you could get to exceptional, then people will even pay more for that. So that's what I had to do, man, from 25 to 20, 28, 29 years old. All I focused on, I wasn't thinking about real estate. I wasn't thinking about money. I wasn't thinking about get great at one thing. And I became a great salesman. And I highly recommend that for everybody. Become a great salesman. Learn how to communicate with people, sell something, stand up with your convictions, have confidence, express yourself, look people in the eye, sell it, and close it. Because those are two different things. And most people think selling and closing are one same conversation. They're not, dude. They're completely separate. Selling's one thing, okay? Negotiating's another thing. Closing a deal is a completely separate issue. You got to become, if you want to become particularly a great real estate guy. I didn't know when I was 28 years old selling cars that I was actually learning how to do real estate deals.
Yeah, real estate's a lot of emotions involved, closing deals.
Yeah. Or where I'm dealing at the food chain, like I'm buying
You're in the institutional stuff.
Yeah, I'm buying $600 million worth of stuff from one institution. If I mentioned their name, you would know them. Everybody knows them. And big group. They own 280,000 apartments. That's just their apartment portfolio. Very sophisticated.
They're not, but the thing is, they're not, kind of like you were saying with Taylor Vaki on the previous podcast, is they're not specialized, meaning they have to deploy billions.
Yeah.
Every month.
Yeah.
They own office, they own retail, they own this, and they don't see the assets. They're not on top of it. They're not on top of. I'm not speaking for all of them, right? I'm not saying any names either, so I'm in the clear. But I'm saying, in general, it's just they have a REIT, it's an asset class, and they put a manager there, they put staff there, but they're not. I don't know what your management team looks like or who you hire, but they're probably not as hyper focused as someone who's smaller, who's more versus they own so many, and it's just like another spreadsheet for them. You know what I mean? So they're not you can come in. That's kind of what we'll do is we'll find something that we can buy and give it hyper-focused management. Where can we cut down on maintenance costs, what's going on here, how we can push the NOI, what's going, with the rubs, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like the little details. I'm assuming you do that with what you do.
Yeah, but when you're buying something from a group like this, right, they're very sophisticated.
Yeah, they could probably have like 15 analysts you have to answer to.
Yeah, or they, just simply, they can be much cruder and push weight. We are
Yeah.
name.
But if they're talking to you, they want to sell.
And then my ability to negotiate with another, because it's going to come down to you and another person. And they're going to move around these third parties. The negotiating is a skill set by itself, right? So they're using very similar tactics that I'm going to be using. My goal is to pay a lower price. Their goal is to get a higher price. I mean, we were just working a deal out with a group they own. I'm at $5 billion. I think they're at $48 billion. They're 9 times bigger than me. They've been in the game longer than I have. And we're doing a deal. We're in the last hours of closing this deal out. And, they know how to use their weight. We have a tremendous amount of inventory that we can sell you in the future. I'm like, yeah, that's good. And you should. And you will, by the way. I still need this. Okay? And then I'm like, because this is a lot of money you're asking for. It's ridiculous. Dude, please, it's not ridiculous. I'm offering you $90 million more than everybody else, and I'm ready to close. Okay? So I'm going to go from 91.5 to 90. Like, this is not an insult to you. It's a great offer. Everybody else is going away. I'm still here. So you have to be, I didn't know this when I was 28 years old. I'm strategically learning how to handle situations. If you're a waiter or a waitress in a bar, you're learning, become a master at it, man, because you're learning how to handle people. Handle the rude guy, handle the no-tip guy, handle the guy that's in a rush. Learn how to handle and master people, because you're going to use it in 10 or 15 or 20 years in situations that are going to pay you a lot of money. And so that's what I was doing. I did my first real estate deal my first real estate deal I did when I was 31. But I studied it for 3 years. So I was doing sales during the day and studying real estate at night. 3 years.
On YouTube, how were you learning it back then?
Well, there was no YouTube.
Books.
But there was no
mentors.
You didn't have a navigation system in your car, okay? But I don't think compasses were even made. Were compasses made in 1988? Yeah, probably a compass. But we had books. Your dad remembers this, the Thomas Guide. Ask your dad about the Thomas Guide. It was a book this thick. It was about this wide, that like this, and it had all the addresses. Like, it had maps. And you would drive your car, okay? There was no automated driving. You drive your car. There's no seatbelts. No seatbelt. You're driving your car, and you got your Thomas Guide, okay? And you're like, okay, I'm at 3rd Street and Fairfax. Okay, I'm trying to get to, and it would tell you, turn to page 87 now. And you have to go to the bottom of page 87 and find out where you go next. Like, that's how people learn their way.
Brokers were a lot more valuable then. You really needed them to walk you.
You did. So what I did on the weekends, I was in Houston, Texas at the time, and every weekend I would just walk real estate, look at real estate, study real estate. I didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't know what to ask. I started meeting with brokers. Did that for 3 years. Didn't buy anything.
How did you get a knack for it, for like understanding how it works?
Just
because most people don't, if they're not in the world of real estate,
get closer to the target. Get closer to the target. Anything you don't understand, get closer to the target. Look at something long enough, you'll understand. And like, if you wanted to learn about ants, go look at an ant farm.
Well, my question was, what turned you on to real estate? Was it that book? Or was it a friend?
Well,
was it your dad? Was it?
I think it was my dad driving me around in a car when I was 6, 7, and 8 years old. Because on the weekends, he would drive the family and look at real estate on Sunday. We'd go get ice cream. We'd go to the park, and he'd look at real estate. Oh, look at that house over there. Look at that over there. Oh, my God, this is a great neighborhood. He was a stockbroker, but he'd look at houses on the weekend.
Did he buy anything, or he was just thinking?
No, I don't think he bought anything. He ended up buying a house a year and a half before he died. Unbelievable piece of real estate in Lake Charles. He convinced the lady to sell it to him. She was a widow. He went there and smoozed her. Next thing you know, we bought the house, and he said, and my mom said, we made it because of this house purchase. It was 1.5 acres on the water in Lake Charles. B-roll this for him so he could pop it up and show it. Had a pier, man. And my dad would go out there, and I'm just hearing this as a kid. Your dad feels like he's made it. This is his happy moment in life. So I'm equating real estate with success. And so when I was a car salesman at 28, 29, I'm selling cars, making money, selling a car, make money, sell a car, make money, sell a car, make money, right?
What were you doing with that? You were saving that money?
Oh, yeah, dude. I was banking every penny of it.
You weren't being stupid and spending it?
I've never been stupid with money. Ever. Never. There's not, I mean, there's a handful of events in the last 10 years where I'm like, that was stupid. It was some dumb purchase. But most of it's been very, very conservative. Like I buy everything on sale, looking for a deal. I'm looking for value. And so, so I'm studying real estate. And then at that time I had left car sales and I was consulting automobile companies on what I had learned selling cars. People wanted to, manufacturers started hiring me. This goes back to the greatness thing. Master something and people will find value in it. And car manufacturers wanted to know, literally went to Lake Charles, Louisiana.
You were a top performer, right? And
they were like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing that allows you to sell this many cars in this period of time? They became curious. And I said, well, I train every day. Well, okay, once you train, what's the training look like? Well, I train on video and audio every day. Every day I basically handle a customer before I ever handle a customer, and then I handle customers. And then on the way home at night, I listened to recordings of what I did. I was actually recording everything that I did with customers, so I could listen to it later, dude. I was looking at the ant farm. I was studying ants. In this case, I was studying sales cycles. I had my mom work for me, and my mom would write down what was going on between me and the customer. She would, as a third party watch, I had my mom there to tell people, that's my mom. I'd never lied to you. Come on, my mom's here. Okay. Can you get these payments any lower? Absolutely not. And my mom's witnessing this. I said, that's my mom over. I'd bring her in. Hey, Mom, would I lie to these people? No. Okay, good. Boom, boom. They'd buy it. So I was using all these tactics, right, to make myself more credible as a salesperson. Is that a scam? I guess it is. I'm trying to get out of my scam, which is being poor. And so anyway, these car dealers I end up building a business out of this car salesman thing. And they started paying me a lot of money to do this. And I was traveling all the time. They'd give me money. I didn't know what to do with the money. I didn't want to invest in the stock market. So I started studying real estate. I probably walked, in 3 years, I don't know, 200 or 300 properties in Houston, Texas. Moved to San Diego because I had some money now. Moved to San Diego where it was beautiful. And on the weekends, I started shopping real estate again. But I never bought anything in Houston, and I had that experience. I think this was 1995 now.
So you toured probably for 3 years?
3 years.
You didn't even buy anything.
Between 1992 in Houston and 1995, I toured properties in Houston. Mm-hmm. Didn't buy anything. And by the time I realized all the deals I'd missed. Oh, shit, that was a good deal. That wasn't a good deal. That was a good deal. That wasn't a good deal. This was a good deal. You should have bought that one, but you didn't. I had all these regrets. Mm-hmm. And the economy was a certain way in Houston that was different than in San Diego. When I got to San Diego was get devastated. And I said, shit, I think this is Houston 1992.
You saw it all over.
I said, this looks similar to me. But I'd looked at the ant farm, if you will, enough to understand what I was looking at. And then one day, me and my buddy Dale were driving, and we were downtown San Diego. I remember it like it was like this morning. I'm driving a car in San Diego. I'm like, shit, bro, it's happening right now. I saw some new tags, a truck with new tags on it, another car with new tags on it. I'm like, oh, the economy's coming back here. And I bought my first deal like 3 weeks later. I bought a 48-unit deal. I knew it when I drove on it, bro. It was like, I drove up, I'm buying this. I knew it. It was instantaneous. Every great deal I've ever done took that long. Every great deal I've ever done. They all had that one thing in common. Bang, I knew it like within seconds. Now I just had to underwrite it. And that deal was called Cedar Woods something. What was it called? Cedar Rapids is a city, man. Cedar Woods Apartments, 48 units.
Still on that one today?
No, I wish.
San Diego's on fire now.
Is it?
Because everyone's trying to get out of LA.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's going to Ventura.
Yeah, Orange County.
Orange County.
Yeah. I wish I still did. I put 350 grand down. I bought that thing for 1.9 million. It was worth 5 million. He built it for 5 million. I paid 1.9. Put 350 down, so I only paid 350. Raised most of the 350. Borrowed it from brother, sister, uncle, aunt, blah, blah, blah. Just put it together. So it really wasn't even my money. And that thing's worth 25 million bucks today.
How many times did you refi it before you sold
I
it?
could have refi. Well, I sold it 37 months later, made $3 million. So I had a flip, my first flip. But it was a mistake.
Yeah.
You see, I didn't know what I didn't know. This is the problem with learning on your own. See, I learned it on my own.
Yeah.
And I made a $17 million mistake.
That's also another thing I wanted to ask you about, right? Because I watch a lot of these people on YouTube, a lot of real estate. I'm always trying to learn more, right? Because all I know is multifamily.
Good for you, man.
And I'm trying to learn about retail, trying to learn about other, there's so many forms of real estate,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So a lot of people also, the anti-granters or whatever, are saying, well, it's easy for him to say, right? Go look at my, this is like the famous line I see, look at my swimming pool, look at my big, 100, 200 unit, 300 unit, right? So people say it's easy for you to say, right? You built up this audience, you built up a following, right? But for the average Joe making, whatever they're making a year, X amount, they're saving up
for
slowly.
the average Grant.
For the average person, right, who started from nothing, who wants to get their first deal done, right? They can't go buy a 50 unit or a 100 unit.
Sure they
and
can.
yes, they
Sure
can
they
raise
can.
the money.
Sure they can.
But not everyone has the.
Sure they can. Yes, they can. Not true.
You don't think? What do you mean? I'm just saying. Let's give an example, right? Somebody making 80 grand a year.
Look,
he's putting away a little bit. He wants to buy a duplex.
Anybody can do something small. Okay, you can do something small if you want to. But I have this saying: if it's easy to get, it's going to be hard to get rid of. So anybody can get themselves into anything, dude. You can get herpes. You know
what I'm saying? Let's say somebody wants. I'm not trying to.
No, but dude, you can get laid. You can get laid. Anybody can get laid. Okay, you can. Anybody can do anything. Like you can do anything. You could do nothing. Okay, or you could do 2 units, or you could do a 5-unit deal, or you could do a 50-unit deal, or you could do a 500. You're going to end up at 500 if you're going to do the game. If you're going to play the game, you have to play the game. Just skip the bullshit. Mm-hmm. You don't need to do the little stuff because the little stuff is never going to pay you.
Yeah.
It's not worth the energy. I'm just telling people, oh, it's easy for Grant to say. Okay, no, it's not easy. Like I'm literally telling you, I'm giving you the map.
Yeah. No.
Don't waste your time on the little shit because it's not going to pay you or your partners any money.
No, but I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not trying to argue on it. But
no, I was not even talking to you. I was talking
in
to
general,
them.
right? But I'm saying somebody right who doesn't have the experience of real estate, doesn't know how to operate, they've never done it before, right? Even if they're a great salesman, right? And they can raise a lot of money, they can buy a 100 unit for the first deal or a 50 unit, whatever. But who's gonna, in their right mind, is gonna give somebody as an LP money who's never done a deal? So I would tell people, not that my opinion.
How much
matters,
money have you raised?
Is
how much money have you raised?
How much money have I raised?
Yeah,
I raised I work with my family, my brothers.
Okay, well, outside of your family, how much money have you raised?
$2 million.
Okay, I've raised $2 billion. I'm telling you. You can raise money. You just got to know what your target is. Look, if your target is only to raise a couple $1 million, you're only going to raise a couple $1 million. If your target was, I'm going to raise $1 billion and build a massive real estate portfolio, or let's say 100 million, you're just going to take what you've done and 100 exit or 50 exit. Okay. Well, you can't keep doing your family because they're going to run out of money. Everybody runs out of money, right? Elon doesn't have enough money to get to Mars. If the dream is big enough, you have to raise money.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah, no, 100%. I just want to get back to finishing that previous question.
Okay.
Like I said, I agree with you. I'm just trying to say for somebody who is in another business, right?
Yeah.
Don't they have to first master the fundamentals? Not necessarily on a 2-unit or 4.
Yes,
but
I agree
on
with
a
that.
10, first
of
master,
course,
show you have a track record before you go ahead and raise 100.
No, you don't need the track record. You need the deal. What you need is a great deal. I'm gonna get you a ticket to my real estate event that we're gonna be doing. When is that? July or no? The real estate or the business? Okay, I'm gonna get you a VIP ticket to that. I want you to come watch it. It's 3 days. Okay.
All right.
80% of real estate is the transaction, the property itself. It's not the money. It's not the down payment. It's not the debt. It's nothing. Like if I would have known this when I was 31 years old, dude, I would be so rich today. It would be unbelievable. I mean, I'd be rich. I mean, super, super rich. If I would have just not compromised my lack of understanding for the deal, I didn't believe in me. I didn't believe I could do it. It's exactly what you're saying right now. Well, don't you have to learn more? And don't you have to do this? And don't, yeah. But dude, if the deal was good enough, money will always find a great deal. Okay? I'm going to show you a deal. I'm going to show you a deal I'm thinking about because you probably know this. I don't know if you know this deal, but you'll know this market. Okay? I'm not going to mention the deal because it's in play. And it's in California. Okay.
Oh, it's in California. All right.
Yeah. You're like, what's he doing there? Let me see.
You're just ripping on Taylor for telling him get out of Cali.
Yeah. Look at this.
He's selling you a deal. Let's see it.
Okay. You know Marina Del Rey?
Of course.
Of course. What'd you say? Of course. See?
Okay.
All of a sudden I have a location that you already have massive agreement with.
That's probably an A-class turnkey asset.
Yeah.
You don't do value add anymore, right?
We would. This would be considered a value add deal. Waterfront. Marina, 221 units, Marina.
Glass balcony.
Only heavy, big, massive institutions own it. I'm going to probably buy.
$800 a door?
I'm going to probably buy that deal. Okay, it won't be $800 a door. There'll probably be $400 a door.
Really?
I'm going to steal this, dude.
I'm
going to steal this piece of real estate.
Because there's a lot of blood on the streets right now.
Blood, bruh.
Because there's
okay. Now watch. What's your attention on right now? So your attention right now is on what? What did I just show you? It's on the deal, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm telling you how to run the playbook. The playbook is this: find the best deal, find the best real estate, best locations. Don't compromise those things. You think we could raise money for this deal? Yeah. You said $800 a door. I said, no, I'm gonna buy it for $400 a door. I'm gonna sell off the marina for $30 million, $35 million, maybe $40 million from the marina, and I'm gonna have a 7.5 cap going in. You want to help me raise money for that deal? I'm gonna raise all the money for it anyway. I'm gonna buy it for about.
What you said before, so you're gonna raise it regardless.
I'm gonna raise.
Meaning that's on the previous podcast with Taylor. You were saying the mindset of raising is not like, oh, I need your money.
If it's a great deal, you're gonna raise money. Now, if it's a marginal deal, you got to do a sales pitch. This goes back to Elon. Best product. If the product's not good, you got to rely on marketing. If the marketing's not good, you got to rely on sales. Have a better product. So when you go to the 2 units and the 4 units and the 50 units, you end up with what? Old 1970 product. When you get into the 200 unit band in a great location, that's 200. This is, let me see. I got the whole thing right up on this. Dude, this just showed up last week.
But also, not to play this game that I'm going to keep going back and saying, but easy for you to say, right?
Yeah,
I get
it.
My audience is young 20-year-olds or young 30-year-olds who want to build a career, right? Who want to start real estate. So they're not going to get pitched these great deals because the brokers don't think they can close.
That's right.
Right? And you need a track
But they're not going to get pitched the deals. Let's admit why they're not going to get pitched the deals, because they're not looking at them. Okay? You go to a strip joint, you end up with a stripper,
That's
dude.
why.
Huh?
Because they never closed anything before yet.
No, because they're not looking at it.
You didn't start at 100 units, right? You made a lot of mistakes along the way.
I should have. I did 48 units. I did 38 units. And then I did 92 units. That was in a 90-day period. The only thing that was keeping me from buying 500 units, by the way, I bought 500 in 6 months. The only thing that kept me from buying 500 over and over was me. It wasn't the marketplace. All I had to do was go look. Now I got to figure out the pitch. I can't be walking in there saying, I got enough money for 5 units. I got to raise the money. You can't do that. You got to work out a different pitch for this guy. Mm-hmm. So when I called this guy, I got to tell this guy, bro, I'm coming back to California. Grant Cardone, I'm coming back to California. First thing I had to do was I got to get his head right about Grant Cardone is coming back to California. Coming back to Cali.
Good time to buy.
Dude, I'm coming back, and I'm coming back with a big ass bag, bro. Okay, I'm coming back, and I'm coming back furious. I'm coming back angry. I'm coming back, and he's like, I got to sell him that I'm real. Okay? Now, your audience is watching this. Oh, yeah, but you're Grant Cardone. You can pull that off. Good. Yeah. Well, you're going to have to figure out your own story. You got to figure out your own story about why your family should be buying that, not me. But you're not going to get it, dude, if you're not looking at it. And while you're looking at 50 units, you're not looking at that. Because you can only buy so much stuff at one time. So this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Now you need to be in a network of people that are having these conversations right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So I tell this guy, I said, the problem with this deal, bro, is I have $600 million worth of deals I'm doing right now with, you get it? Okay. So I'm doing that with these guys. Now I can tell him, but I can't tell the audience right now. I'm doing those deals and I'm closing those deals here in the next 65 days. And I'm straight with this dude. I said, look, I cannot do these deals in the next 90 days. This deal. He's like, dude, don't worry about it. This deal can't trade in 90 days anyway.
Yeah, I mean, people need 6 months to close a deal.
Because the county has to approve the buyer.
Really?
Yeah.
California.
It's a ground lease.
Oh, okay.
It's got 35 years left on it. I would still buy the real estate. Because in 35 years, I'd pay for it 3 times. And believe I can work out the ground lease in that period of time. Anyway, look, what I'm saying to you and your audience, okay? The guy's like, okay, Grant can do it. Yeah, but guys, you got to understand, I started with no units and no money and no understanding. But I took the time to study Donald Bren, Orange County, largest real estate owner in America today. Most people do not even know his name.
Jeff Green?
Jeff's down here.
Yeah, I mean now he was in California back then.
Was Jeff in California?
I think he was.
I mean Jeff's a great real estate. He's not a legend. I mean Jeff's a great guy, but
he's a legend for The Big Short.
Okay. But study Jeff. Maybe Jeff's a guy. I haven't studied Jeff, but study Donald Bren, study Sam Zell. Like most of my model is basically modeled after Sam Zell. They built Equity Residential. So, yeah, dude, like, if I was 31 years old and I'm like, oh, but Sam Zell did it, I can't do it because I'm not Sam Zell. No, dude, the thing is to study the guy and become the guy until you become the guy. And so Sam Zell didn't build anything. I'm like, I'm not building anything. Sam didn't build anything. I'm not going to build. Why would I build something? Let them fucking build it. 7, 8. Let them build it.
There's a lot. I mean, I guess in development, I've been studying that too because it's more cool, right, to watch. It's like, wow, I built that building. But it's like, you could buy an asset and go in 7 cap, right? Or you can just day one, you're making money, you're cash flowing day one.
Yeah.
Plus
you take a lot of risk out.
You definitely take a lot of risk.
And I'm not a builder. I don't know how to build stuff.
You stick to what you know.
Yeah.
I find it really interesting.
Yeah.
The way you think
See, all that stuff when you drove in here, did you notice these big buildings right over here that were being built? Apartments?
Yeah, they're all over.
Across from Starbucks?
Like, I don't want to name a few, but there are some underwater right now because they're having times.
They're all underwater, dude.
But if it had just sold, my buddy was trying to do their debt and they ended up selling.
Yeah.
To some big group out of Europe, bought them out.
That's right over there. Yeah. And they pay too much. They shouldn't have bought that deal.
Yeah, they paid a lot.
I know that deal. So know your market, know your neighborhood, go as big as you can go, raise money. This is my recommendation for people. Raise money. Why am I going to do that? Learn the game. Nobody's going to send money to somebody that's good. I said this earlier. If you're bad, you don't get anything. If you're good, you don't get anything. Good and bad are treated almost identical. Nobody's going to recommend bad. And nobody's going to recommend good.
Interesting.
Okay? Your dentist is either great or they're not, period. The movie was either great or it wasn't, okay? You're either great or you're not. If you're not great, you're good. And good is treated like bad. And that's the way of the world, dude. And you're never going to get freedom being good. And you can never make a good asset great. If it's in a good location, it's not a great location. Like it's just a good location.
Well, some people like buying. I mean, I'm not in that market, but some people like to buy in the middle of nowhere, like Ohio, whatever, high cash flowing.
Yeah,
not much appreciation, but they're
exactly. I know, dude. I did all that. I did all that.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. It's crazy,
like
dude.
There's few do have like a few hundred Section 8 homes, but they're managing a million little homes. But they're doing well.
My uncle did that. My uncle had 80 Section 8 homes. Took him 30 years to put them together. I had 500 units in the first 90 days I was in real estate.
I think Donald Trump said a famous line. I don't know if it's from a book or a document. He was talking about how him and his friend were working on a deal. He was working on his massive $1 billion deal, whatever it was. His friend was working on like a $5 million deal.
Yeah.
Took them the same amount of time, same amount of stress, and he ended up being where he is, and that guy was, there.
Big
Pretty
think,
much.
man.
Just,
Big think.
You're saying if you're going to do it, just go bigger.
Big think, man. Big think.
Same amount of headaches, same work. Also, bigger buildings run on their own a lot better. You got staff day one, you have maintenance team, you have a manager. If you're buying a 30 unit, you can't afford a manager. You can't afford a maintenance guy. You got to have a guy just come out when there's issues, so that costs more. Your maintenance cost goes up.
And then when you exit, who are you going to exit to? If it's 4 units,
Mom and pop.
What's mom and pop looking at? Every penny. They're tight. They're scared. They're unsure.
I'm going to drag you out in the sale.
You're like, oh, you're going to make more money on them. No, you're not. You can't make money on people that aren't sure. This goes back to the earlier.
That's why you like selling to the whales.
Huh?
Because they got to deploy. The numbers make sense.
They have a mandate to spend money. Mom and pop doesn't have a mandate. They're trying to save money, not spend money. This goes back to the earlier conversation. The first question you asked about where are you in the food chain? Are you looking for somebody to scam you, or are you looking for the Holy Grail? You got to move yourself up the food chain. That's why I tell you the scammer, all these haters and clickbaiters and scammer fraud alerts and the whatever they're called online. I don't even want to mention their name, but dude, they're never going to move up the food chain, bro, ever, because of where they live.
Because they're focusing on other people versus
they're focused on mud bugs. Can't get lobsters looking in a ditch. You know, you can't catch a whale, dude, if you're happy, hunting for stuff that lives off the mud.
And to kind of quickly talk about for the young,
you can't get a yacht life being in the bayous. You can't stay in Tehran and expect to have an American lifestyle and freedom and choices if you stay in Tehran. Like once it switched over, your people had to leave there in order to get here.
Yeah.
Okay. Location matters. And there's periods of time in history where you're like, I got to leave. I have to leave. I've left 6 times to get where I want to go.
I've heard that. I
physically,
didn't know you left L.A. or to come to Florida before Florida was a cool place to be.
Yeah.
And you sold your home and you were renting a condo. Like that's,
Best moves I've ever made in my life required a move. Best moves I've ever made in my life required me to actually physically move. I went to a treatment center. It required me to move. Okay? When I left Lake Charles, I went to Houston. When I went from Houston, every time I moved, I actually grew. Went to San Diego. I went from San Diego to LA. I left something comfortable. When I was on drugs, I was comfortable using drugs every day. And then I moved to something uncomfortable. I moved to Houston where I was comfortable. I was there 3 years, moved to San Diego. I knew no one. Created a life there, business there. I moved once I got comfortable to LA to meet my wife and grow myself spiritually. I moved to LA. I spent 12 years in LA just working on myself, like literally, and creating a new life. I went from Playboy to Family Guy. And now I had to learn how to be a man. I was 40 years old. I had to learn how to be a man. Okay, I had real estate. I had a company. I had to grow up at 40 years old. And then at 45, 46, 47, or 51 years old, we had a baby. 2008 came. We moved across the country to Florida, where I hate, by the way. Hated the idea of moving to Florida. Moved to Miami where there's humidity and bugs and left something great to get something better. But I had to make some compromises. So all you guys out there watching saying, oh yeah, Grant Cardone, yeah, you can do it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but what you need to find out is how anybody became them. How did Warren become Warren? How did Steve Jobs become Steve? How did Elon become Elon? These people all went through something. How did Jesus become the Jesus we know? Because he could have been an unknown guy. He left home and went on a little trip, And then he went out and did great things. A lot to learn. Whether you believe that's a myth or whether you believe it's reality, the story still is compelling enough to like, what did he do when he was gone? He went and did some great shit. You can see now. You can walk. You were healed. He did great things and said, go tell others. He didn't do marginal things. Dude, he did some great things. Even the way he died, dude, it was great. Then he did the after show. So Kanye, man, look at Kanye West. Even if you hate Kanye for whatever he said in the recent, like his meltdowns and everything, I went and saw him in Tampa Bay last week, dude. The fucking guy, for 92 minutes, stands by himself on the top of the world and does his 25 years of songs that everybody, 75,000 people, all know the words to. And did a great show, great light show, you know. So anyway, my message is like, be great and then buy great stuff. Don't buy marginal stuff. Buy great stuff. Well, I bought a plane. I'm sorry, I'm ranting here. But
no, this is great.
I bought a plane in November, okay? I sold my plane. I bought the plane, a 650ER about 3 or 4 years ago. And a company paid me what I bought it for. I said, okay, well, I'll sell it. I've been in the plane 3 or 4 years. So thought I was doing great. Now I got to buy another plane. Well, I don't go buy. I know enough now. I'm learning after 60 years. Dude, go buy the best plane you can possibly buy. This is my 4th plane. Don't buy. The first plane I bought was what I could afford. Mm-hmm. And I was scared, terrified. Okay, it was a 2008 G200. It was, I don't know, at that time it was probably 20 years old. It was 20 years old? No, it was probably 12 years old at the time. Terrified to buy that plane. I needed a plane because of what we were traveling a lot. Now I know, no, buy the best asset you could possibly buy and afford. Buy the best asset because somebody else will find that asset more desirable. I bought the plane in November, maybe December I closed. Dude, I could sell this plane every 30 minutes right now. The market's so hot. Because when you have a great asset, right?
But I guess the idea would be you're paying more for that, so your cash flow would be less.
Well, you still have to. You still have to make a great deal.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're overpaying for it and then you over leverage it, it's not a great asset.
That's another thing you don't leverage so much. You do like 50-50, right?
Yeah.
50 equity.
Yeah. You don't want to over leverage an asset. You know, ever, because now what you're doing is you're taking a great asset and you're encumbering it with problems.
Especially if you take pref and stuff, which you don't take, which is very
smart. Yeah, I don't do pref.
No pressure.
Nobody does that, dude. Nobody's ever done that, ever. Like, I've been to New York. We pitched our real estate Bitcoin hybrid.
That's another.
Yeah, we could talk all day, right? So I pitched my real estate deal to the big institutions, Blackstone, Morgan Stanley, J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, all of them, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. We went on a road tour last year, and they're like, okay, wait, let me understand this. You don't do a pref to your investors. I said, no. How'd you come up with that? I said, because I can buy better real estate when I do that. What do you mean?
No pressure.
I said, look, I buy the best real estate. I don't have a pref. Me and my partners, first of all, I don't get money from you guys because you guys will require a pref. But the pref is actually not good for you guys. And they're like, what? The pref's not good for you. Because if it's not good for you, if the pref puts pressure on me, and you're my partner with the money in, okay, and the pref, the 8%, is strangling the operator so much that I can't actually pay attention to the operations, you lose too. So we dropped the pref and still raise money. They're like, we don't think we could raise money if we didn't have a pref.
So what do you do with your investor? You give them like a projected return, kind of like based on the going.
Say, hey guys, I think I'm buying this deal. I think it's going to do 5%. You know, I think it's going to do 5 or 6%. Best piece of real estate you can possibly buy. Like when I do this deal, hey guys, I think this piece of real estate after our fees is going to do about 5.5% a year.
But why would people do a 5? Like why would someone put money in doing a 5% when they can put it in like a CD or put it in a I don't know, something that's high yield savings accounts doing 5%. Is it because of the
because I don't think they believe in rent growth.
Also, you have to refinance, you have tax benefits. Right?
Yeah. So that deal I'm showing you right there is going to be a couple $100 million. It's going to throw off $80 million in depreciation. We're going to add Bitcoin to it.
So
I'm going to add.
Bitcoin thing is.
I'm going to add 300.
You don't think it's irresponsible? I mean, look, they're probably going to call you a genius in 10 years if Bitcoin goes up.
Dude, I hope so.
If Bitcoin goes up to $1 million, right? Let's say.
Yeah.
But if it tanks.
Yeah.
You don't think it's wildly,
you mean like it has been?
Like it has been. I mean, you're probably doubling down. You're probably loving it, knowing you.
Explain that. Explain what you just said.
Explain what I just said. I mean, What do you mean? Because it was. What did you buy it at? 90,000, 80,000.
I bought it 74,000, 76. I bought it last week for 65. I'm gonna probably buy it today.
How you not scared?
I am.
To just send it like that.
Yeah, I am.
Because I don't understand how.
Dude, but I'm scared when I buy real estate too, because real estate can go down.
You understand, it's a business, right? That have people in it. There's NOI, there's rents, you can kind of get a basic projection, right? And if you don't take on a lot of leverage, it's a pretty safe asset, right?
Yeah.
But Bitcoin, like, also, how do you buy your Bitcoin? Is it like through Coinbase, or is it through your own safe? Like, I don't understand it, so I put a little bit in just because like it's cute and like.
Yeah.
But I'm like also.
But if you've ever heard me talk about it, and you guys have. I have repeatedly said for a year and a half now, do not buy Bitcoin by itself. So, question is, how do I not worry about it going to zero?
Yeah, because they're either going to call you a genius or they're going to call you irresponsible.
Yeah, they won't call me irresponsible. They'll just say, dude, everybody was wrong about it. They won't say I was irresponsible because I completely, everybody that's invested with me in it understands. We all understand. We don't know what we don't know. So, if you think it's going to zero, you're not going to invest with me. But let's just go ahead and play it out. If it did go to zero, I should have bought the real estate. And this is our formula. We'd buy the real estate at a place where we believe the replacement cost gets us back to negate our zero. Meaning, I'm not going to stack.
Even so the real estate will kill it.
Exactly.
Right. And even if
so,
Bitcoin
like we did
goes
a deal,
to zero, they'll just be even.
Even, which means it's
if
still
Bitcoin
elusive.
keeps shooting up.
No, wait, let's just play the first one out because this is how I walk through the concerns.
You have a crazy way of thinking.
Well, no,
I mean because no one's done this.
I just want to run it out. I want to run it out and say what's the worst case situation. Because you got to remember when I buy these assets, I'm buying them with my money. Like if I buy that deal that I just showed you, I'll buy it with my balance sheet, and then I put the money. And I don't know if the audience is going to come give me money for it. This is how your family could start doing it. You guys would start raising money off your own balance sheet and replacing it with an audience at the same price. We don't mark it up. You could, I guess, but no reason to. And then you would replace your money over and over and over again, okay? So what I'll do on that deal is I'll sign on that deal, buy it off my balance sheet, then I'll bring money in from my audience. If it comes in, it comes in. If it doesn't. But in the meantime, I have to do my calculation. What if Bitcoin goes to zero, dude? This is how I'm thinking about it. You know, if it goes to zero, oh, shit. Oh, well, I need to buy my real estate low enough to where back to replacement costs negates my zero. Now, I'm still not going to like it because it's basically dead money for 7 years. Yeah. I'm going to shoot myself in the head and say, shit, I screwed up. I should have never fucked with the Bitcoin, and it was dead money.
You could have bought double real estate.
Yeah, I could have bought more real estate. Okay, well, whatever. But that's not what I did. I can live with it. Because I don't think it goes to zero. And most people that I talk to don't believe it's going to go to zero. You think it's going to zero?
No, I buy some.
Yeah,
let's
put
a little bit in every month.
So you do, huh?
Like marginal amounts.
Yeah, it's fine.
Because I'm thinking like, hey, if it goes up 100x, I'll make some money. But if I lose it, for me, it's like the amount of money I put in is money I'm willing to gamble.
Yeah.
Like not ballsy like what you're doing, like hundreds of thousands, millions. Like that's a little bit. Because I don't understand it. I only like to put money.
Look, I don't fully understand a lot of things. I don't fully understand real estate. I don't fully understand the internet. I don't fully understand funnels. I don't fully understand.
Teams that know what they're doing with the funnels.
They don't know, dude. Okay, if I don't know, they don't know. Okay, who knows really everything? Nobody knows everything. If you guys are going to wait until you know everything, you're never going to do anything, right? I don't understand the U.S. dollar. I don't know what the Federal Reserve really is. I haven't been over there, checked them out, done due diligence on any of this bullshit. So I just got to trust 17 years, Bitcoin has gone from zero to where it's at today. It went to 126,000. Now it's trading at $58,000 today. It's never gone back to zero. It's gone, went up to 60, went down to 13. Okay. Went from 13 to 90,000, went back to whatever. It keeps doing this thing, right? It's all this volatility.
Do XRP also or just Bitcoin?
Say again?
XRP?
No, just Bitcoin. Yeah. And because I can only sell so many stories, right? You don't want to start convoluting stories and like, hey, I got a Rolex,
a meme coin, like
and I got gold, and I got silver.
Scams,
yeah, you got
Grant Cardone's.
You got to come up with some kind of. Maybe we do some of that stuff later. I don't know. I don't think so. But look, if the Bitcoin thing works out, I don't need to do the rest of it. Okay, 7 years from now, what do you think Bitcoin's worth?
No, it could be worth $1 million. It could be worth.
Just give me what it's going to be. The year's going to be 2033. Do you think it'll still be around?
I think so. I don't understand it. So
It's basically money.
My opinion doesn't mean anything. I'm not saying, I think, I don't know, like $100,000 maybe. I hope it's at $1 million. I don't know. A zero could be. I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You think it could go to zero?
I don't know. I don't understand it well enough to be honest.
Right.
I'm just being honest. I'm not
Okay, so 7 years from now, what do you think the U.S. dollar is going to be worth, more or less?
like $10 to the dollar, the way
Yeah,
it's
it's
going.
going to be worth less.
Yeah.
Right? So you're saying all currencies are going to be worth less.
Yeah.
What do you think real estate? You think real estate rents go up or down?
Continue to go up.
Yeah.
I mean,
They-
you were saying your deal would be.
They have for 70 years. So-
$13,000 a month. Your Boca deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's steep, but I don't know if it's going to get to 13,000, but it's definitely going to probably be double in 10 years.
Yeah. So the Boca deal you're talking about, those rents are $4,500 right now.
So you could probably be doing 8,000.
We're 96% occupied. We're benefiting from Illinois, Massachusetts, New York, California, all coming over here saying, I don't want to pay property taxes. I don't want to do the Mandami thing. I don't want to do the Gavin Newsom
he
thing.
just passed rent freeze last week.
Then they passed the rent freeze. They keep fucking up over there, number 9. They keep screwing up over there.
This week's episode is sponsored by GBC Facility Services. So if you have a commercial property here in South Florida and you're not happy with your current provider and they keep upcharging you on carpet cleaning and things like that, reach out to them. They are the top leading company here in South Florida. They specialize in daily janitorial services backed by documented SOPs and strong leadership. So your facility looks great every single day, and their contracts are all inclusive: carpet cleaning, pressure washing, machine scrubbing, light maintenance, all covered, because their team members handle everything together. They multitask on site so your costs drop. They proudly service YMP, Bozzuto, and First Service Residential. One contract, no surprises. So reach out below. I'll put all the information for GBC Facility Services. Tell them the YM Show sent you guys to get a special discount on free carpet cleaning. Thank you guys, and we'll be right back to the episode.
I hope your dad still loves me after this interview. They keep coming down here doing stupid stuff, and they're benefiting Florida. So Florida, if rents double in the next 10 years, from $4,500 to $9,000, they would still be less. If I got a double, I would still be less than New York City rents today for a similar asset. For a similar asset, but the difference is we're not similar. My tenants are looking at golf courses, the Atlantic Ocean, blue skies, like palm trees everywhere. Like, you can't see that in New York City. There's no place in New York City where you get to look out your window and see a golf course and the Atlantic Ocean and go to the beach 5 minutes away. So you got to make a bet on something, right?
Yeah.
So what we did in that deal was we bought that deal out of bankruptcy. It was $235 million. It would cost, this is our formula. My next question is, what did it cost to build it? Not whether it's worth $235. My next question is, what did it cost to replace that asset? And it would take about $450 to build the asset. So $230 million. It would take $450 to build it. So right now I'm like, oh, I could put that much Bitcoin in there right there. We didn't put that much. We put 100 million in. 1,100 Bitcoin. Those 1,100 Bitcoin are worth less today than they were when I bought them.
Yeah.
But the real estate value went up already because we took the property over at 85%. It's at 96 now.
You probably improved the amenities,
We're
management, all that.
slowly going to start improving everything. Rebranded.
When you open a management company.
Say again?
You don't do management.
Third party.
Now.
We use third party. We
By
won't
now you
in the
should
future.
just have 10x management and make that
We
a
will.
multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah, we will. You're thinking the way I'm thinking.
Right? Because
we're probably going to rename all the
You should probably open up your own construction company. You should probably it's just service all your own. Like,
maybe
everything within.
We're just not big enough yet. We're probably going to rename all the properties Cardone, okay? And the real estate company will probably be called 10X Management. We'll integrate both of them vertically. And then we want to look at taking the real estate Bitcoin hybrid to the public markets once the public markets are favorable to that concept again.
Yeah, it's really impressive what you built.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I guess I know
But
we talked about 5 hours.
No, it's fine. But you see, with Bitcoin coming down, right?
Yeah.
What I'm doing right now
buy more.
we're just buying twice the amount of Bitcoin every month. Like we did a deal in January a year and a half ago, and we buy $300,000 of Bitcoin there a month. Well, we used to be buying 3 Bitcoin a month. Now we're buying 5 Bitcoin a month from the cash flow of the property. Now, on that deal, we did a no pref and a 20%. Our first real estate Bitcoin thing we did, I get 20% of the upside,
Okay.
and 20% of everything above is zero. It doesn't really cash flow. The cash flow is diverted to Bitcoin. Okay, so all the investors knew that going in. Hey guys, we're going to use all the cash flow to buy Bitcoin. We get about 3.6.
What happens to the Bitcoin? You ever sell it? Or?
We just hold the Bitcoin and the real estate in that one LLC, and we wait. We wouldn't sell it right now because we'd lose money. Right.
Smart.
So we just wait. Real estate, the real estate value is going up more than enough to cover the Bitcoin loss. Now, on the last deal we did with the big 1,100 Bitcoin purchase, we did an 8 preferred.
Oh, okay. So you did so it occurs.
I said, guys, I'm so confident in this deal because of my exits. I'm going to give you an 8. Investors get an 8 first. And 50% of the upside we split. But you get the first 8. So in 10 years, they get their money back plus 80%.
It's 8%, right?
Okay. And then we split 50-50. But I'm confident in the deal that it can do an 8 because I believe the Bitcoin will I believe the Bitcoin, I believe those Bitcoin are going to be worth, $600,000. I think the Bitcoin in that case will be worth 600 million, which is double what the triple what the real estate costs.
Bitcoin is so volatile. I mean, you wake up tomorrow and be $100,000 because some celebrity bought a bunch of it. You know what I mean? And then
it'll take more than a celebrity, but right now,
right. Okay, I mean, I guess there's just so many more topics. It's been 2 hours. I don't want to take more of your time. But I guess one thing that's kind of now people are talking about is like personal brand, right, on online. You've started this before it was a thing. Like you were out there on YouTube before it was a cool thing, before it was a thing to funnel people to businesses, like you were the guy, right? So how do you, now that like everyone and their grandmother has a YouTube channel, has a personal brand, do you see that as like as harder to break through all the noise? Do you still think everyone in real estate or in a business should have a personal brand to funnel or to build trust or audience or whatever?
I mean, I think that people should, everybody's got a brand anyway. It's just whether 2 people know you or 20 million people know you, and it's what are you going to be known for, or you're not going to be known at all. So there's a benefit to being known. There's a benefit. There's negatives to being known too, because then people want to put their 2 cents on you that don't even meet you and don't ever talk to you. But the overall benefit of being known is that people trust. Look, money's not going to move to a vacuum. It doesn't go to blank black holes. Money moves to the light. It moves to where there's attention. So when you go down a back alley and it's dark, you're gonna protect yourself, and shine light on it, and you're gonna relax. And when the more light there is, right, the more attention there is on a brand, the more trust there's going to be just from knowing. Mm-hmm. And so the trust thing can't happen without knowingness first. I have to know something. This goes back to the very first question again. At the bottom, you're ignored, and then you have an impression. Impression could be poor. Poor is better than not knowing. I'd rather have a bad first impression than no impression. So it could be, I have a poor impression of you. At least you have an impression. I have a decent impression, but really, whatever. I forget you. Because that's going to happen. There's a word called omnipresence. Omnipresence, and you were talking about somebody and they're omnipresent. Jonathan Morgan. Omnipresence is you're everywhere all at the same time. It's not that you're everywhere. You're everywhere all at the same time. You're on the billboard, and you're on YouTube, and you're on TV, and you did an interview, and you popped up in my podcast. That's Jonathan Morgan right now. Okay, you want to be everywhere. Anything that's assigned omnipresence is assigned power. God is everywhere. So people from all over the world, bro, like God is everywhere. He's in my thoughts, my dreams, my day, my night, my business, my customers. He's in my health. God is everywhere. Anything assigned, even if it's not understood, anything assigned omnipresence is assigned power. And so if you can accomplish that by being here, it's very, very difficult to do.
It probably comes to a lot of people coming after you.
Yeah, I mean, Just in the beginning, it's not people coming after you. In the beginning, it's that you're ignored. And this is what everybody talks about the haters. Bro, don't worry about the haters. Worry about the first part. You know? People are going to be looking at you like, who's this dude? How did he get the interview? They don't know you yet. And then what's going to happen is they're going to forget your name. They're going to know you for a second. Oh, that's cool of him. He smart kid. He got that interview. And then they're going to forget your name. You went back into omnipresence. You went back into obscurity. I knew you. Now I don't know you. I forget your name. So you got to pop up again and again and again and again. Like you got to beat the bouncing bear, bro.
Yeah.
You got to beat the pornography online. You got to beat the OnlyFans. Like I'm looking at my X feed right now. My X feed is filled with pornography. Like it's unbelievable. Like I don't know what happened. If I click the wrong thing, hit the wrong thing, it's just like I'm being fed these 4 pictures all the time. And then that I'll hit not interested enough times to where it'll clean up or whatever. Then I get hit with citizen vigilante because I showed some interest in it, and then I started getting fed that. Right, all those things are taking my attention every day.
Yeah.
Iran sucked all this attention out of the marketplace. SpaceX 2 weeks ago, sucks all this attention
So
out of
trying
it.
to fight for that,
Dude. I'm not competing. You guys think I'm competing with somebody else for a real estate book, but I'm not. I'm competing with SpaceX. Everybody's competing with noise. But yeah, I think brand's very important, dude. Now you got to decide what you're going to be known for. 1, 2. Once you get known for that, you're going to not want that. This happens to everybody.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
You're going to get. Did they handle April?
Yeah, she pushed it to 130.
Okay, good.
108.
Perfect. So then what's going to happen is you're going to get typecast. This happens in Hollywood. Typecast means, oh, you're this happened to me, okay? Early on in 2010, we started banging the internet. And I got typecast as a sales guy only. And I'd go out in public, oh, you're the sales guy. Oh, you're the sales guy. Oh, you're the sales guy. You're the sales guy. Well, the problem with that is if I wanted to become who I really am, yeah, I'm a sales guy. But that's not.
Everything's sales.
Everything's sales. It's where we put all our attention in the beginning, which I'm glad we did. But when you go try to get on Shark Tank, which I did, and they're like, they turned me down because why? You're just a sales guy. True story. You know, he's just a sales guy.
What were you trying to pitch?
No, I wanted to be on Shark Tank as one of the sharks. But they said, no, you do. We need legitimate businessmen here. I said, okay.
But you were buying real estate.
We got $9 billion worth of companies today, and they need a legitimate. Other than Mark, I'm probably, you know. So, and you know, Mark basically got rich taking a company public. Like, I mean, he even admits he was lucky. What he's done with it to me is more impressive. What he did with his first score is more impressive to me than his first score.
Yeah.
So even he admits, dude, if he'd have been off by 30 minutes, he wouldn't be rich. But my point is, I got typecast. So then I'm like, okay, I'm in a sales niche. I'm known for the sales niche. Now, how do I become this other person? That is very difficult to do. We've done that. We went from sales to marketing. Then we went to business. Then we went to money. And basically, I've achieved all those. Like, I go in public, oh, you're that money guy. You're that money guy. And then when I said, okay, I want to do the real estate thing now. Now I want people, when I walk out, hey, you're the real estate guy, huh? You're that real estate guy. And then it was like, oh, you're that undercover billionaire guy. Okay. Oh, you're that, huh?
That was a cool show.
Yeah. Oh, you're that guy that crowdfunds. You're the crowdfunding guy, right? So, like, we want to make, now in the end, it's going to be like, you're the bank. You're that guy that figured out how to
building that software bank right there.
Yeah.
Right next to you can make a 10x bank.
Maybe the Bank of Cardone.
So where do you see yourself going? Like, it says in the Bible, when you have 100, you want 200. When you have 200, you want 400.
Yeah.
At this point, are you going for a certain number of units, certain number of net worth, or is it just like, let me just keep grinding, and I'm addicted to this, and you want to help more people, you want to grow more?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to.
Keeps you hungry, like.
I definitely want to help more people, like, you know. I want to help more people for sure. And I'd love to double the real estate portfolio. I'd like to double our Bitcoin holdings. The problem with real estate, is like real estate comes with a lot of problems. How much real estate do y'all own?
A bit over 5,000 units.
Wow, it's fantastic, man. A lot of toilets.
Yeah.
A lot of gutters.
Yeah, managers, regionals for.
Huh?
Regionals.
Yeah,
managers.
but it's still a problem, right?
Yeah.
Still.
The CapEx is always a thing.
It's a problem, dude. Every 7 to
That's what
10
you're
years.
talking about with Bitcoin, right? No CapEx.
Say again?
You're saying there's no
No
CapEx.
plumbing, bro. No gutters.
But also Bitcoin could disappear and real estate's not disappearing.
Yeah, sometimes you might wish you did, though. Sometimes you might wish you did. I'm just saying, it's heavy. It's very, very heavy. You can't take your real estate portfolio and move it. I can't suddenly move the rents. I can't, I'm regulated. It's just heavy. It's very, very heavy.
You don't like stocks either, right?
No, I don't like stocks, but
You
I like the way they
401ks
move.
and stocks.
Yeah, 401ks are terrible. Real estate's
But
the
for your
best 401k in the world.
For your average person, right? Back to, right. And you're going to push back on. You probably won't let me finish the question.
I
right?
won't.
But your
I won't,
average
dude.
person
Why even
making a minimum wage, right, or making 50 to 100 grand, whatever it is,
Yeah.
right? And they want to put away 10, 20% of their paycheck, so they don't have to work to the day they're dead.
They're going to
so
work
can
till the
build
day they're dead.
wealth.
You're going to work till the day you're dead.
Option.
The IRA is not going to fucking make you rich. It's a scam. Okay, it is a scam.
People who are not investing are living paycheck to paycheck. So for some people to invest in the stock market, because they don't know how to buy real estate.
You're not investing in the stock
real
market.
estate.
You're not investing in the stock market. You're investing in 100 stocks. You're not invested. You're diversified, which is incorrect sequence of events for wealth creation. You do not diversify to create wealth. You diversify to protect wealth. So why would you take somebody 25 years old and say diversify $1,000 across 100 stocks? You wouldn't. That guy should look. You believe in stocks? Fucking put the entire amount into SpaceX. Put it into one thing that you know for sure is going to be here in 30 years.
You don't believe in playing it safe, having
no,
base,
absolutely
having
not.
$100,000 base in the stock market,
No,
so you can make 10 grand a year, so you build, and you make 10% 112, and 10% on.
No, 10% on what, dude? The average return in a 401k is about 7.5% a year over the last 20 years. They're printing money faster than 7.5%. They print more than 7.5%, which means you're back to zero again. You're not growing. People with retirement accounts aren't getting rich. They can't even get out. Number one. Number two, in 30 years.
So I shouldn't have a Roth?
No, you shouldn't. Well, I mean, maybe you want a Roth vehicle. So somebody's going to go, oh, yeah, Peter Thiel put all his money. Dude, it's about the investments he dropped into the Roth. Roth didn't make him rich. It was the investments he dropped into his Roth that protected him from taxes. But the 401k and the IRA, they're going to dump out at 73. You're going to be forced to pull that money out. You're going to be taxed at what rate? We don't know. How old are you?
27.
27 years old. In 46 years, what do you think taxes are going to be in America?
No idea.
Double?
I mean, if it's going the way New York's going, it could be double.
Good. That's your partner in your IRA. Okay? You're going to pay double the taxes when you go to
They have
retire.
a mansion tax in California now.
Exactly.
5%.
They're going to add all kind of taxes.
And if you leave California, they tax you now. They back tax you.
Exactly, dude. Now, if
Everyone
you'd have
counts
known
it.
that before you bought in California, wouldn't you rethink it? You would have thought it. If you knew Madami was going to freeze rents in New York, would you have rethought investing? Of course you would have. So if you know for sure in the year, whatever that is, 46 years from now, 46 years from now, your retirement account's going to be worth more. Could be worth 10 times more. The government's going to charge you. They're going to get double the tax. They're going to get 40 or 50% of everything that went up in that retirement account.
So
I would never have them as my
take
partner.
that money instead.
Fuck that.
When you're young,
You take
put
all
it
that
into
money, you go buy
put it
real
into
estate.
business, buy
You
business.
bang into a real estate deal, bang into a real estate deal, bang it into a real estate, bang. Because 47 years from now, that if it's in a good location, and don't trade that asset like I did.
Keep it.
Keep the damn asset, take care of the asset, and wait for 47 years. And those rents are going to be $10,000 or $12,000. It's going to be paid for 3 or 4 times. You could have refinanced it 6 or 7 times in the 47 years. And when you die at 75 years old, guess what? You didn't suck all the money out of it. You just passed it on to the next generation. Right now, you got, like my family's, man has been around planet Earth for a couple 100,000 years. Couple 100,000 years, man. Everybody watching this, 200,000 years. Your people have been wandering planet Earth. What did the last generation leave you? After 200,000 effing years, you would think your people would have accumulated something. So most people are doing all this bullshit working for 80 years and leaving nothing. I ain't leaving this planet like that. I'm going to leave, bro. I'm going to leave my church something. I'm going to leave my kids something. I'm not leaving them problems either. I'm going to leave them assets that take care of them forever. And hopefully I leave all my investors with the same thing. And if I could be lucky enough, to a handful of people that weren't so low that they didn't look at everything as a scam and a grift, that some of those people, you know, that little tiny group of people that were looking for help like you, said, hey man, that guy helped me while he was around. And maybe that's that's the last deposit I leave that'll benefit me into the future.
Hey guys, how are you? Besides the YM show, I run a weekly call in a community called the YM Inner Circle, where we have on real professionals that I interview here on the podcast, whether they are real estate professionals like Grant Cardone or finance people or people in private equity, whatever it might be. We have a weekly call where people can learn and ask questions and have a live Q&A with these professionals who have built real businesses, and they can pour into you guys and teach you all the lessons they've learned and how you can apply them. You can go out and do what you want to do and build the business you want to build. So if you ever want to be part of an online community, part of a weekly call where everyone gets together, where they can help each other network, help each other expand their business, come join. I'll put a link below. There's a 7-day free trial and we have a weekly call. Would love to see you there.